Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, maybe good evening, depending on where you are. I hope everyone's doing okay. Hope everyone is healthy. If you can see me and you can hear me, you can say hello in the chat. Can everyone see me okay? Hear me? Good morning. Good afternoon. Okay, you could say hello in the chat. Hi, Anne. How are you? Hi, Befren. Okay, we'll wait a minute for people to join. We have another rainy day today in New Jersey. I hope you have some better weather. Okay. Hello, Mehmet. Okay, so today we're going to talk about numbers. We're going to review the numbers and especially pay attention to their pronunciation. So we don't want to make mistakes when we're talking to someone and telling them a number that could be very important. And we're going to talk about making dates and appointments. And we have a lesson on prepositions, talking about dates and times and places, because I know that can be so difficult to learn. So maybe it'll be a review for you. That would be great. Or maybe it'll be brand new. Okay, I think that it'll be good because it's always good to review that because prepositions in any language is very difficult to learn. Okay. All right. Hello, Shada. Hello, Anna. Okay, so just to review the numbers, and I want you to work on your pronunciation a little bit. So I think that it's important that you repeat after me. Maybe there's someone in the room with you, maybe there isn't. Maybe they'll think you're a little crazy, but it's okay because it's important to practice your pronunciation out loud. Okay? So please repeat after me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So hopefully that was very, very easy. And I want to know if there were any sounds that you have trouble making. Because from my experience as a teacher, many languages have trouble with this sound, the TH or V. So we use that TH with two different sounds. So We can use it as an unvoiced sound, like this, or with a voice. Okay, so to make this sound, you have to put your tongue in between your teeth. Okay, and you're going to have to practice this one. Or and I know that it's very difficult. And if you can't do it, that's fine. Sometimes it just takes practice. And it's okay if you make that sound in a different way. Depending on where you live in the world and what your native language is, sometimes you might pronounce it as or as z. And that's fine. But if you want to practice it so that you can sound a bit more native and to make sure people really understand you, you can practice and make sure that your tongue is coming through your teeth. Okay? And I gave you a pretty difficult sentence to practice with, so you can copy that down if you'd like, and you can practice it on your own. I'll say it for you here. 3 thirsty teens threw 13 cents at the thief on Thursday. It would probably be difficult to say that quickly, but you can definitely practice it. You can look in the mirror when you practice it, or you can record yourself to see if you're making the sound. 3 thirsty teens threw 13 cents at the thief on Thursday. And don't be too hard on yourself if you can't do it right away. It will take practice. Okay? Hello to those who just joined. Okay. Okay. So pronunciation of numbers is important. 13 and 30 can sound very similar if you're not careful. So how do we make those sound different? Right? 13, 30, 14, 40, 15, 50. Okay, these can sound very similar, and we really don't want to make a mistake or someone to mishear us. So to make those sound different, you can change the part of the word that you stress. When I say that you stress it, you say it a little louder and a little longer. So for our teen numbers, 13, we would stress the end part of that word, 13. For the 30, 40, 50, for those numbers, we would stress the beginning part of the word, 30. Okay, and I'll show you. Can I have $13? Did you say $30? No, I said $13. Notice how we have to stress it, especially if someone doesn't hear us and they ask us to repeat. We want to really stress that part of the word. Okay, so we want to do a little practice with these sound-alike numbers because they can sound very much the same. 13, 30. And I want you to repeat after me to practice. 13, 30. 14, 40. 15, 50, 16, 60, 17, 70, 18, 80, 19, 90. So notice how we put the stress on a different part of that word to help with the pronunciation and help people to really understand the number that we're saying. Can anyone think of a time when it would be very important for someone to hear our numbers correctly? What do you think? What would be a really important time? When would it be very bad if someone heard a different number, the wrong number? Maybe when we're talking about money, if you work in a store or you have to ask someone for money, right? We wouldn't want someone to give someone the wrong money or have them give us the wrong amount. Okay, so it's important in that kind of situation. Okay. All right, so now we're going to see how you do, because I know this might sound easy, but I want to make sure you're really also listening and hearing the words correctly, okay, to make sure you hear the correct numbers. So I'm going to say a number and you're going to write it down, okay? And you can write it either in words or in the number form, okay? It'll be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, ready? Number 1, 40, 40. Number 2, 16, 16. Number 3, 70, 70. Number 4, 13, 13. Number 5, 80, 80. Number 6, 50, 50. Number 7, 15, 15. Number 8, 19, 19. Number 9, 17, 17. And number 10, 60, 60. Okay, I want you to check your answers and see if you were able to hear the correct number. Because sometimes you can mishear those numbers. Okay, how did you do? Did you get them all correct? Did you get most of them correct? Did anyone get any wrong? And remember, you can type in the chat if you want to talk. Okay, and I'll try to answer you right away. Okay, well, hopefully you got all of those correct. And that means that you're hearing the numbers correctly, so you can hear the stress. And then when you're saying them, you can make sure you're really pronouncing the right part of the word. Okay, so no one can mishear yours. Okay, so what other situations is it very important to pronounce your numbers clearly? We mentioned money. When else? Are there other times when you have to use a number and you wouldn't want someone to hear you incorrectly? Maybe your phone number, if you have to tell someone your phone number. Or an address. Maybe you have to tell someone where you live or where they should meet you. You would want to give them the correct number. Yeah, your age, definitely. Yeah, you would definitely want someone to have the correct age. How about time? Time is very important too. You'd have to tell someone what time they have to meet us or what time a lesson is. So time is very important. Okay. Yeah, so numbers are very important. Okay, so to improve your conversation when we're talking about making dates or appointments, meetings, receptions, parties, concerts, they all use days, times, and locations. And to do these, years, Bianca. So for all of these, they're going to be indicated by certain prepositions. And the prepositions are usually very difficult to learn and to master in another language. Not just for English, but for any language. So using the correct preposition will make you sound more fluent and allow you to be more easily understood. If you use the wrong one, usually someone will understand what you mean, but you won't sound as fluent. Okay? So today we're going to work on the prepositions in, on, and at. And those prepositions can be for time or for place. Right? Prepositions tell us where something is in time or space. So we're going to be working on those three words in time and also in space. So for prepositions of time, first we're going to look at in. Okay? In indicates the month, year, or season of an event. So think of in as telling large periods of time. Her birthday is in October. In. So you have the whole month of October. Her birthday is in October. Okay, it's a larger period of time. He is graduating in 2020. So picture the whole year of 2020. Sometime in that year, he is graduating. It is usually cold in winter. So here we have a season. So a season is a larger period of time. So whenever we're talking about a season, we also say in. In winter, in summer, in spring, okay, in fall. So that's when we're going to use in for these large periods of time. On. On indicates the day or the date of an event. So this is going to be a little bit smaller a period of time than we would use for in. The appointment is on Friday. Our classes are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Her party is on August 13th. So we used it for the day or the date, on. Okay. If you have any questions or you want me to slow down, you can just write it in the chat. At. At is going to be even smaller. At we use for a very specific time, right? Specific, exact. So we used in for large periods, on for smaller, and at is very specific. The appointment is at 10 o'clock. The concert is at 4:30. Okay, so I hope that's clear. In, on, and at. Periods of the day are indicated as follows. We always say these prepositional phrases together like this. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and for some reason, we don't say in the night in English. We say at night. And I think this might be because at night is taken from a German phrase, and we took that into English that way. So I'm almost positive that that's where we got at night from. But the other periods of the day are always in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. So you can just memorize that at night goes together. But the rest of the periods of the day use in. Okay. So I want you to try it. And I want you to fill in the correct preposition here. In, on, or at. We're still talking about time. Okay, so take a minute and fill those in. Okay, the first sentence. Does anybody want to tell me? This English class is... In Thursday, on Thursday, at Thursday. Yeah, Adam. On Thursday. Good. It is in April 30th on, yeah, it is on April 30th. In 11 o'clock, on 11 o'clock, at 11 o'clock. Good, Bianca. This English class is on Thursday. It is on April 30th at 11 o'clock. Okay? This class is in the morning. In the morning. Okay, remember, in is for periods of time. We always use in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. At is for very specific times. At 11 o'clock, at 10 o'clock. On is always for days and dates. In larger periods of time. Okay? So let's check our answers. This English class is on Thursday. It is on April 30th at 11 o'clock a.m. The class is in the morning. How was that? Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? Okay. We also use these same prepositions, in, on, and at, to talk about where things are in space, okay? Where they are. So we call that prepositions of place. We looked at prepositions of time, and now this is going to be prepositions of place, in, on, and at. Okay. Bianca, at ever I use for clock. O'clock, we're definitely going to, Bianca, we're going to move into time in a little while, okay? And I'll be able to send you the slides too. So time is part of the lesson. Okay, prepositions of place. So in, similarly to the preposition of time, where in was a large period of time, we're going to use in for a large place. Cities, countries, states. The school is in Long Branch. Right? Long Branch is a big city. We're in Long Branch. The office is in New Jersey. New Jersey, it's a big state. Okay, it's a larger place, so we use in New Jersey. You also use in when you talk about being inside of a location where the address is already known. The teacher is in the classroom. The meeting is in my office. Okay, so we already know where the classroom is and where the office is. So we say we're going in the classroom, in my office. Okay, so in is for larger places, just like in was for larger periods of time. On. We use on to indicate the name of the street in the address of the location. So when we're not using a number for the address, only the street, we use on. The show is on Broadway. The school is on Main Street. Okay, so this is getting a little bit smaller. So we had in for cities and states and countries, and now on for smaller areas like a street. Broadway, on Main Street. At. Just like at was used for a specific time, at 11 o'clock. We also use at for very specific locations. The class is at the school. The office is at 456 Smith Street. I am at work. He is at home. Okay? So notice how they got, just like time got more specific, places got more specific. Okay, so in was used for large spaces, cities, states, and countries. For in was for larger places like cities, states, and countries. On is for streets, and at is for addresses with numbers or very specific places. Got it? Good. Let's try it. Okay, so use in, on, or at. Okay, I'll give you a minute or two. And you can say on the beach or at the beach. I think I say both. So if I'm at the beach, yeah, I think you could say both. If you're on the beach, it would mean more that you're really on the sand part of the beach. But sometimes you could say you're at the beach if you're maybe on the boardwalk or really any place. So sometimes we can use both and they would both make sense. So on the beach or at the beach is fine. I think that technically I think at the beach is the really correct way, but you can also be on the beach. Okay, good. So we've got lots of answers coming in. Good. Looks like everyone's up to number 4 now. Okay. I keep my computer in my office. And if you said at my office, that could also be correct. So I keep my computer inside of my office, but you can also say at my office. It would still be understood and it wouldn't sound very strange. Okay, but the correct way here would be in my office. I live on Lake Street. Remember, we use on for the streets if we're not talking about the number. So somewhere on Lake Street is where I live. I live at 13 Lake Street, because this is a little more specific, right? If we're giving the exact house number, more specific, at. My friend lives in Brazil, big country, right? So any of these larger spaces in Brazil. Good. Any questions? Any questions? And I think to really learn these prepositions is to do a lot of practice with it. Okay, so let's do a quick review. Prepositions of time. In is used for larger periods of time, years, months, periods of the day or year. In 2020, in June, in the morning, in winter. On is used for smaller periods of time, days and dates. On Thursday, on July 21st. At is used for specific times, at 12 o'clock, at noon. And the prepositions of place, In is used for larger places, countries, cities, states, and inside buildings. In New York, in Mexico, in the library. On is used with the names of streets. On Main Street. At is used for specific addresses and places. At 5 Smith Street, at the park. And you could also say, so here in and at, you could interchange them at a lot of times, and you'll hear people do that. And it would still be correct and everyone would still understand you. If you said, I'm at the library or I'm in the park. If you're in the park, it just means that you're really inside the park. Okay? I hope that's a good review. We're going to do some dictation sentences now. If you remember that, we did it last week. And it's going to be with the prepositions that we just learned. So they're all sentences. There are 10 sentences. And I'm going to say each one a few times to give you a chance to write them all down. Once we've written them all down, you can either send them in the chat or you can check them on your own and I'll pull up the sentences. Okay? I'll say it at a natural speed and then I'll break it down and say it very slowly and then at a natural speed again. Okay? Is everyone ready? You could either type in your answers or you could write them down. Okay, I'll give you a minute to get set up. Okay, hope everyone's ready. So write down what you hear. Number 1, I am at home. I am at home. I am at home. I am at home. Number 2, she has class in the morning. 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 Number 3, he lives in Germany. He lives in Germany. He lives in Germany. He lives in Germany. Number 4, meet me at the park. Meet me at the park. Meet me at the park. Number 5, I like to watch TV at night. 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 Number 6, we always take walks in the evening. We always take walks in the evening. We always take walks in the evening. Number 7. I live at 40 Main Street. 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 Number 8. My appointment is at 3:40 p.m. 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 Number 9. I like to go to the beach in summer. I like to go to the beach in summer. I like to go to the beach in summer. I like to go to the beach in summer. Number 10. She lives on a quiet street in a nice city. She lives on a quiet street in a nice city. She lives on a quiet street in a nice city. She lives on a quiet street in a nice city. She lives on a quiet street in a nice city. How did everyone do? Was that easy? Here are your answers, so you can check it. And you should try saying the sentences out loud too. Always try to say everything out loud. Okay, it's good practice. Number 1, I am at home. Number 2, she has class in the morning. Number 3, he lives in Germany. Number 4, meet me at the park. Number 5, I like to watch TV at night. Number 6, we always take walks in the evening. Number 7, I live at 40 Main Street. Number 8, my appointment is at 3:40 p.m. Number 9, I like to go to the beach in summer. Number 10, she lives on a quiet street in a nice city. How did everyone do? Okay, your answers all look good. Okay. It's okay. Remember, you're learning. Okay, so don't be too hard on yourself. And sometimes it's very difficult to hear and then write down the word. I think reading is much easier than having to listen and write it down. Okay, so it really tests your listening skills to see how you're hearing the words and recognizing them. What happened, Adam? I think your answers look good. Okay, so here's a little bit of a challenge. I want you to fill in these blanks with the correct preposition, in, on, or at. And this is mixed with time and places, so it's a little bit more challenging. Okay, so if you remember, in is for larger, on is a little smaller, and at is very specific. And that's when we're talking about time or space. Okay, so I want you to give that a try, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay? And you can say it out loud. See how it sounds to you. Because if you do watch a lot of TV or read in English, it might sound wrong to you if you have the wrong preposition in there. Okay, as you become more fluent, you'll start to just hear the right word. It'll sound better. Okay? All right, so go ahead and give this a try. Write down the correct prepositions in the blanks, and then we'll go over them. And even if this is a review for you, it's a good review because this is something that people who speak English for years and years, they still make errors with prepositions. Okay, I see people starting to get some answers down. And remember to say it out loud, even if it's just to help with your pronunciation. Okay, it looks like most of you are on number 3. We'll give another few minutes. Okay, remember, in is for much larger periods of time and places. On, a little more specific, days, dates, streets. And at is specific places and times. Okay, hopefully everyone's finished. You can check your answers. The game is at the school, in the gymnasium, on Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Our wedding is in November at Ocean Country Club The meeting is in 2021 at the office in Washington, D.C. And if you said in the office there, that would be fine too. Number 4, the dinner is on Friday at 6 o'clock in the evening at the restaurant in the back room. Number 5, the show is on July 24th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the Art Gallery on Jefferson Avenue in New Jersey. How did everyone do? Why in Washington? Washington, if it's in a city, a state, or a country, we use in because that's a larger place. Okay, so in Washington, in New York, in New Jersey, in Long Branch. Okay, yep, because it's a city. Okay, so we're going to take a little break for about 15 minutes. We'll come back around 12 o'clock. And at that time, if you have any questions, you can ask me questions, or else we're going to move into telling time, okay, and different ways to say the time in English. And I also have some new conversational phrases to help you as well. Okay, so, yep, I met in November. It would only be on if it's a, so we said on July 24th because it's a specific date. So in months, on dates. Okay? So if you have any questions when we come back, I'll be happy to answer them, and then we'll move on to different ways to tell time. Okay, and talk about time, and we'll talk about making appointments too. Okay? All right, I'll see you in about 15 minutes.